Welcome back. This is the final video in my 5-part series about reprogramming the subconscious so you can finally attract and keep a great romantic partner. In this segment, you'll watch how my client JB unburdens her core belief of I don't trust men that made her attract abusive relationships. If you have followed other relationship coaches' advice that didn't produce results, it's more than likely that you haven't gone deep enough to befriend the inner critical voices, and you haven't unburdened the wounded parts that have kept you stuck from an amazing love life. Rescuing, healing, and unburdening your lost, forgotten, and disowned parts is the journey to wholeness and self-love and coming home to your true self. So, step 5 of reprogramming your subconscious is help the wounded inner child part to unburden the limiting beliefs and invite in new beliefs that will help you manifest a soulmate or specific person. Hi, I'm Emily Liu. I am the author of Climax: Why Great Leaders Need Love Affairs. I help you climax in love with a deeply nourishing and fulfilling intimate partnership. If you haven't watched the first 4 videos in this series, please watch them first by clicking on the links in the description box. You'll want to watch this video to the end because I give you a heads up into what my soulmate, Jim, and I are up to in terms of helping you live a life with epic love. Now, let's roll the tape to see how JB unburdened and got her parts to think positively about men.
So with all of these beliefs now, are they ready to ritualistically unburden what you have been carrying since 9 years old? No one need to care for me. It doesn't matter how good you are. Men will always treat you in a hurtful way. It's easier to give up than trying. They're going to do it anyways. I'm amazing, but no one sees it. I don't need you. I can do it by myself. I don't like men. Men are just a facade, just a game. Men pretend, they hustle, and they placate you. So you've been holding on to all of this baggage from the past. Are they interested in releasing this burden for good? Where has it been held in your body? Does it feel like all this stuff since 9 years old has been held in a certain part of your body?
Well, it's interesting. My legs are like crossed, like like I'm all under the table. My legs are all like closed and crossed. My whole bottom half is like, my legs are like wrapped around each other. So yeah, probably like very central, so where has this all been held? Like, yeah, like I just feel, like my female parts, I'm totally closing them off and crossing my legs and like, sort of doing that sort of thing. So
are you ready to open up the legs as a signal to like, okay, I'm open for the right
Not quite. Okay, I'm taking one knee back and unlocking my ankles.
Well, this is about surrendering to the right person, and when you can't be crossing your legs.
Right. So yeah, so visually I can see it as, just being more free, walking with a lighter stride, just more gracious, holding hands, just more kind to my soldiers instead of grunting, like just more sophisticated and more loving and more being friends with them. And we walk together like a tribe and like a community more than an army.
Great. So walking together as community versus army.
And when you say like I'm not good enough anymore, they're like, oh yes you are. Or no one needs to love me, like, oh yes they do. Like they're more into a languaging than just reacting or being aggressive.
So what other qualities do you want to invite in? So you started to say, you are good enough now. And what other positive qualities? We keep going. Just add in, tell them from your highest self what is true about us, because you are good enough now. You see, now you have this whole explanation of why this happened, because daddy was in his wounds. He has no capacity to give love, and on all these beliefs about men as a result of this, especially this 9-year-old traumatic part. And now that you rescued her and she told her story and you let her know what the truth is, and she's not interested in carrying this around anymore. They're interested in helping you move forward.
Yeah, it feels very dated, like it's like time warp. So it's like come into the future, come to 2017. In 2017, men are beautiful, men are sophisticated, men are evolved, men are, emotionally connected to themselves. Men want to be kind men. There are men who are caring. There are men who are honest. There are men who are genuine. There are men who have flaws and have male characteristics, but they're working on improving them. Just like you have female flaws and characteristics that may not always work for men, you're working on them, and there's a balance, and there'll be good days and bad days, but it's not that men are out to get you or out to hurt you. In 2017, there are really beautiful, beautiful men who are really incredible and really kind and really fabulous and really amazing and would love to take care of you. You're totally amazing and beautiful and amazing enough to be wanted. Yeah.
Wow. How's that feeling right now?
Yeah, it feels really awesome. It feels really like an update, like really taking her out of, caveman era into this new beautiful city that's full of technology and beauty and travel and my life, which is my life. I see beautiful things every day. I create beautiful things. I have beautiful friends. I have beautiful people in my life. I have beautiful kids. I have a beautiful home. I have a fantastic life. And it's like a shocking update for her of just how beautiful life is. It's like she's been in medieval times all this time.
So we have a beautiful life now. Do you want to show her all of the other parts of you that we have worked on in the past? Some of them are in that Sedona cave. Some of them are in that closet with
your pink land. Yeah.
Your pink land. And to show her that these are the rest of the parts of your colorful personality that you get to bring in to the next amazing conscious man that you're going to attract.
She's a little crabby. She feels like she's been holding the fort for everybody while we've all been frolicking. She feels like it's been a bit unfair that she's had to be in the dirt and in the trenches all this time. So I think I need to comfort her in that way a little bit. Like I'm grateful, so grateful that that you sacrificed so much to keep me safe, and in turn that kept you in pain and unloved and uncared for and unnoticed. So I deeply am grateful to you protecting me and living in the dirt and living in the unhappiness and the darkness and the darkness with dark, scary things so that I could grow up to have a beautiful life. You can have this life too. So we need to change her and comb her hair and bring her up to turn her into a girl again and just invite her into our life, invite her to be a part of our party. My life is a beautiful party of joy and fun and frolic all the time, bliss. And so she's a little awkward, she's a little stiff, she's a little unsure of us all, but she's willing to hang out and figure it out.
She'll find her way within the crowd. Yeah, combing her hair, dressing her up in modern clothing that's right for you, that can be feminine, frilly thing that can help you to seduce men.
And let her be fun and just let her feel free of her burden and feel free of her job. She doesn't have to do that job anymore. She can advance now. She can have a birthday and turn 10. And
let her know you get to play a role in this life. You get to be that flirty girl that you've always wanted to be. Now that you love her, she has all that capability. Show up in that way and be unafraid. And now that you know the origins of where this is all coming from, then you'll have the tools to her when she gets triggered.
Right. And she's street smart. I mean, there's nothing wrong with her to have those street smarts. She's just taken them really far. It's nothing wrong with her to be powerful and savvy and maybe even, apprehensive and not be more conscious of what is the right choices, not just jump into things or make foolish choices or frolicky choices. It's good for her to be wise
and discriminate.
And grateful for that. And that's a good part of her, but she can let go of the anger and let go of the resentment and let go of the hatred.
How would she like to let go of that anger, resentment, and hatred?
Just be more of a girl, be more feminine and be okay with it. I'm very feminine the way I dress and the jewelry I wear, but there's always a part of me that feels like it bothers other people or other people don't like it. Or
says who?
Yeah, says her, I guess. So, it's interesting because she is like, well, you're looking so beautiful all the time, or you're trying to do this, to get attention. But the truth is, like, I don't really want men to show me any attention. So it's like a conflict. So to say to her, like, it's okay to be beautiful and let's make you beautiful and let's feel happy and feel good in exactly who we are. And be a girl and you don't have to fight. You don't have to punch anybody in the face right off the bat. Like, just like, She's like a little bully. She's a scrapper.
Yeah, she's like, oh, is this guy going to is he going to end up being dad? It's like, okay, let's just punch him proactively.
Yeah, right off the bat. Exactly.
Yes,
She just hits the shin and run. Like, that's what she's like. So it's like, yeah, it's a little bit of retraining her that it's okay. You can sit at the table and have a nice conversation, and it's all going to be okay. You don't have to kick their shin and run. You don't have to punch them out. And, so yeah, not being so proactive, being just a little bit more, and still be okay. You can still let men be men and keep their distance, and they're still going to be okay. So still some apprehension. Men will hurt you. So keep your distance a little bit.
There could be a new reframe around men will hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
Now you know how your father was broken, and so he didn't know how to give you the love. And so your exes have been broken because they're just a mirror of your father.
Yes. You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say those men were mirrors. So if you're not broken, then you won't attract men around you who are broken.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what I need to say to her. Like, yes, men will hurt you, but men will hurt you if you are broken or if you are hurt. So the best thing you can do is heal the hurt so that you're healed, so that the men that come around you are also healed.
Men will hurt you if you are broken. If you're not broken, you'll attract.
Healed. If you are healed, then you will attract men who are also healed. Because we're all broken and we all have broken parts of us. Some of us have done the work to heal and some of us haven't. So if I am healed and if I work on being healed, then the men that will come around me will also be healed.
Yes. And she could be that radar detector for you.
Yeah.
To say, oh, you know what? Okay, he's a guy, I'm sensing the energy that he's a guy that's going to hurt us, that might hurt us. He may hurt us because he is still very broken and unconscious. Okay, so this one is not the right person in this lifetime. That's
really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. And awesome. I love having her as my, my counterbalance, my, sort of sleuth, spy, sentry.
Yes. What other new beliefs then around men do you want to invite in? So we're invited in. Men will hurt if you are will hurt you if you're broken. If you're not broken and you're healed, you will attract men who are also healed and on that journey. What other beliefs then from the highest self? If your father were in his highest self and he wasn't abandoned as a kid, what beliefs would the little girl, if she was showered with the love that she needed from dad, what beliefs then are inherently true about men who are conscious?
That men will protect you and men will do the right thing, and men are honorable, that men are dignified, that men have loyalty, and that men will protect you and do the right thing, and that even when mistakes happen, you're still lovable, and mistakes can be forgiven, and mistakes are just momentary. And the truth is, JB is loved for her entirety, not for just one moment or one experience or one mistake. Men see through the one flaw and see the big picture of the good and the beautiful and the wonderful. Beautiful men, seek beautiful things and beautiful experiences and beautiful moments, and want to be romantic and want to be loving and want to take care of their woman, and see the beauty of the soul and the spirit, not of just of the bling or the the exterior. And that there's a soul connection, and there's a way deeper connection. There's when I think about the campfire and looking over at my dad, there was like a terror in his eyes of not knowing what to do. And the moment now is that inside a man's eyes there's a comfort and a peace and a love and a belief and an adoring and a feeling of complete connection, and still maybe not know what to do, not always have the answers, but deeply connected and deeply loving and deeply wanting to do the right, wanting to be a man, wanting to shovel the walk to the best of their ability, wanting to be a man to the best of their ability as often as much as they can within their own human existence and experience of this planet.
Yes. And when you do get triggered with the walk not getting shoveled, just acknowledge it.
They're just human. They're just human, having their own human experience in their own human moment.
Yes.
And that is not a reflection of who they are as a person. It's just one thing. Just like me burning the toast is not a reflection of who I am as a person.
Right. And it's also having a conversation with the man about what is it that you do that pushes his buttons. For you, it's going to be shoveling on the sidewalk, but I'm sure there's something that you do that's going to trigger him, that's going to remind him of mom or something like that. When you can own up to these insecurities or these wounds, that's when the deeper intimacy, emotional intimacy can be built.
Yeah, and you know what's really coming up for me is my son. You know, my son is 12 and I have like really high expectations for him. And I think of all the criticism that I receive, you know, people say to me, "You're so hard on your son. You let him be a kid. Let him, you know, he doesn't know any better. You're asking him to be too emotionally able to understand. He can't understand. His brain isn't developed enough to understand that." And it makes me realize, you know, a lot of what I say to my son is, you know, you have to be a man. You have to step up. You have to help. You have to be trustworthy. You have to be someone can rely on. I just hear my language towards him at 12 is really not, it's my language because it's my belief system. It's because what this 9-year-old has been driving me to just, you know, chant out and yell to every man in my existence. But it's not really fair to my 12-year-old because he's not a man yet and he's still learning. But it makes me just really, really be aware of even superimposing this strong belief onto this young boy.
Because think about what he's looking for. Think about what happened to your dad and he didn't get the validation that he needed, that he was wanted, that he was good enough, just the way that he is. And so your son is looking for validation and love. Like, I just want to be loved for who I am right now. And mom is telling me that I am not enough. Imagine how that would get repeated when he is 30 years old and attracting a woman. That woman is probably going to be saying stuff like that to him. That's going to remind him of you.
And him not feeling like he was enough.
Yes.
And the truth is he's 12. He doesn't have to be a man yet. He doesn't have to shovel the walk yet and prove that he's got, you know, the right character.
So now that you know all that's going on, you now have the tools to be a better parent, to realize, what am I going to say? If I say this, is this going to create an exile in him? He's going to have to rescue when he's 40 years old, say, oh, that 12-year-old party when my mom was saying that I'm not good enough. Oh,
because I didn't shovel the walk, yelling at me because I didn't shovel the walk.
Exactly. And that's going to hold him back in his love life and his career, thinking that he's never going to be good enough, because if you don't tell him that he's good enough the way that he is, he's going to end up self-sabotaging his own success and love life. And you could reverse all of that. You have the power. He's still young, and you already started to reverse some of that process through the things that you say to them.
But really, you know, really fascinating how strong your protectors are, because, you know, again, as we said earlier, I mean, consciously and intellectually, I know this 2017 version of JB and of men and of what kind of relationship I want, but it's just been this giant block. It's just like not connecting at all. And hence why this giant wall, this giant fortress, this giant army, this giant armor, you know, all these things. I have to smile, and I just, you know, I feel so grateful because it's so logical. I don't even know this memory. I don't even consciously have this experience, but it's so vividly entrenched in my mind.
You were 9, especially before the age of 7. You know, 9, the brain is still a sponge. Everything that happens to us, we take in the literal beliefs about the world and us. And that's what drives our beliefs about who we are when we grow up. So it's no wonder that you've had this block with men. It's not about blaming yourself. This is what it is. Now you have the gift of meeting me and being able to do this work and seeing this from a higher meta level so that we don't blame anybody. Your father is not to blame. Your ex-boyfriends and husbands are not to blame. They did nothing wrong. They showed up in the way that they did because of their wounds. That's it. We got to have compassion for them.
Absolutely.
We haven't had the privilege of this kind of healing. So they have been the greatest gift for you to experience those traumas, because there's so much wisdom in these wounds. And this is what makes you like, wow, how do I make lemonade out of the lemons of this life? What is the meaning behind why all of this happened to me? You know, what is my future vision statement that is based on the spirit and soul of my highest self? that's how you can put a bow around everything that has happened to you.
And I feel so much love towards them. Both, like all my past relationships, I feel like they tried to show up as in their own knight in shining armor way as best they could. They tried as best they could. They really tried, but there was I had a big army.
Yeah, you had no idea this was so deep and operating underneath the surface, because there's a lot of relationship programs just like the one that you took, but it only addresses the surface level.
The problem, what's the problem?
Addresses the surface. We're not seeing the stuff underneath. So it's unfortunate that a lot of these personal growth programs do not go deep enough like we had done in order to rewire your brain and your belief systems at the subconscious level.
Absolutely, because they really talk about the problem. Like I think a lot of people love being diagnosed with what their problem. I mean, I could have just found out, oh, I hate men. I think men are awful. I think men are stupid. You can't trust men. Men will always betray you. Well, that's my problem. I guess that's my belief system. No wonder I'm not in a relationship. I guess that's my fate. That's the sad part of just getting the problem, addressing the problem in the sense that here's my problem, labeling myself with a problem. What you're doing is like, it's not a problem. It's an experience. And how can I go back and rework that into like an explanation so that now I understand why that 9-year-old has been driving the boat on my mind for so long. And I keep repeating the same wishing with other men to fix that, not being able to, repeating the same pattern, then going back into the same hope to fix it, not fixing it. So
is there anything else that you and your parts need to say to each other?
We love you. We are so grateful you're here. We're so grateful we found you. We're so grateful we rescued you and brought you to our party and our pink land. We're so want you here. You're so wanted here with us. You're so wanted. Rejoice and celebrate with us, and so want you to enjoy this beautiful, beautiful life we've created. And that men are amazing and men are wonderful, and the right and perfect and amazing, beautiful reflection of you is looking for you. He's looking for you.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow. So you feel like you're unburdened?
I do.
I
do. I feel like I wish it was Friday night.
I can't wait to hear what happens the next time you go out trolling for men with your girlfriends.
Yeah,
Let's see what energy they pick up from. You know what? Maybe don't even tell them that you did this, and see if they notice it on their own. It's like, whoa, what came over you, JB?
Well, it feels fun to just not be like, suited up and ready for battle. Like it just feels nice to go out and just be at peace and relax. The war is over. The war is over. It's peace time now, and it's frolic time, and it's rejoice time, and it's harvest time, and it's the time for the celebration.
Yes. Oh, you're so ready. So what would you say is the one big aha from today's session?
Again, mostly that I had such a strong belief system based on an experience at a young age that I just really locked in to feeling that it was about me when it wasn't really about, for example, it was about my dad, and having the compassion for him and the forgiveness for him and the love for him. It wasn't a malicious done on to me experience. It was just an experience that happened when everyone in the situation didn't know how to handle it. And that happens with me as a parent. I have situations where I don't always know how to handle, and every day I'm around people and situations happen, and we're just humans. We're just doing the best we can with what we know at that exact moment. It doesn't define us forever.
You saw in the previous 4 videos that in order to eliminate subconscious negative beliefs that have been wired in your brain as a result of emotionally devaluing childhood experiences, you had to first get to know the extreme parts, i.e. the protectors that developed to protect the hurt inner child parts. Then you need to unburden these parts from the heavy emotional responsibilities they've carried for many years. So you unload them by updating them that their beliefs are outdated and that new beliefs need to be programmed in. Isn't it interesting that JB's burdens were symbolically carried in her crossed legs? A lot of burdens are carried in the body. Even persistent hunched shoulders or even autoimmune diseases can be expressions of emotional burdens. After JB unburdened her negative beliefs about love, you saw how she programmed in new beliefs and qualities such as Dad was not malicious. He did the best he could. Men are beautiful. Men are sophisticated. Men will do the right thing. Men are honorable and loyal. JB is loved despite mistakes and flaws. With this internal family systems healing modality, instead of JB's protective army of soldiers in the driver's seat, armored up for a difficult battle in love, her higher self took over. Self gave permission to her inner 9-year-old and her parts to have fun and be feminine and flirty. After JB got into this new energy of believing that men are wonderful, 6 months later, the universe orchestrated an interesting set of circumstances where she and her future soulmate ended up sharing an Airbnb in Spain with their respective kids as they participated in a month-long personal growth program. They fell in love and married a year later. Now I'm coaching JB's husband to overcome his protectors who want to sabotage the relationship. His IFS sessions are recorded. I will eventually release his recordings so that you can see how a man overcomes his protectors and becomes sovereign to lead his goddess well. Anyhow, I'm going to answer 3 common questions you may have. The first one is, Emily, I hate the parts of me that hold me back from great love. I want them to go away. I want a loving relationship right now. Well, I get your deep yearning for love. And here's the reality. The more you hate the parts that keep you stuck and you want them to go away, the more they're going to stomp their feet and keep you stuck. This is because the past is always in the present. Your protectors are trying to tell you that the old wounds from childhood have not been healed and unburdened. Extreme parts, that is protectors, took on their protective jobs since childhood, since your inner child parts experienced emotional wounding or witnessed or heard something that had you believe something to be true about love and relationships. Between the ages of 0 and 7, your brain was in a hypnotic theta brainwave. This state is why everything you experience is taken in as truth and programmed into your subconscious. When you don't have a great love life, it's very important to look back into what happened to you during childhood, especially between the ages of 0 and 7, so that you can erase the negative programming. Your protective voices and behaviors keep you stuck from manifesting and keeping the love of your life because they think you are still a child. They don't know that you're all grown up with adult wisdom to navigate relationships. When your higher self of today, your soul, makes friends with your protective armor and hear their story of protection, and you don't hate them anymore, then they will allow you to go back into the original emotional childhood scenes to rescue the young parts they protect. Now, the second question you may have is, Emily, I don't remember my early childhood wounds. You're right. Many of those emotional memories have been locked away in the dark corners of your psyche. Don't worry, the Internal Family Systems Healing Protocol, developed by Dr. Richard Schwartz over 30 years ago, of having your higher self get to know your protectors first, means that once the protectors tell you their stories about their fears, they will organically reveal the forgotten scenes from childhood. It's difficult to manifest a new reality unless you unburden from the past wounds. And lastly, a third question you may have is, Emily, I've done the work on my inner child parts. How come I still can't manifest the right soulmate? Or how come I have self-sabotaged and pushed away great partners? You may have tried other methods to get to your exiled inner child parts. Accessing these parts of you prematurely can backfire because your protective parts, that is, the voices that tell you that you're not good enough, men can't be trusted, or love is not safe, those voices will not be happy that you didn't befriend them first and ask their permission to go safely into the past to rescue the wounded inner child parts. The Internal Family Systems Healing modality is about rebalancing the inner system, the internal family of inner parts who are in a system of relationships to keep you stuck from greatness. This is why this model is called Internal Family Systems. Your protectors who are afraid prevent greatness because your inner system of subpersonalities still thinks you are a child. To go deeper into the dance of self and parts in the internal family systems model and how this relates to struggles in love, please click on the link below to my slide presentation on what IFS is. So I'm curious, what are your ahas and questions from watching JB's coaching session? Do you see parallels in your relationship patterns or in the inability to attract the right soulmate who treats you well? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Here's one more important concept to know. If you want the happy ending of manifesting your dream partner, like JB did, it's important to understand the quantum physics of manifestation. Every belief and thought sends out an energy, a vibration. It's okay to be pessimistic and sad at times, but if you're constantly bombarded with negative self-talk, especially from unhealed childhood burdens, or if you've had bad relationship experiences you haven't healed from, you will be overtaken by these low vibration thoughts. This low vibe energy broadcasts to the universe that you believe you're not going to manifest a soulmate or a specific person. Therefore, you'll get the lack you think about. With the help of your higher self, the energy of your protector's negative beliefs can be transformed into energy of positive beliefs about love. Positive beliefs about love and beliefs about how lovable you are elevates your vibration. According to the law of attraction, the universe or higher power picks up your new and consistent upbeat and happy vibration, and it gets to work to orchestrate the hows of magnetizing your soulmate or specific person and drawing him or her into your life. If you want to learn more about the science behind the energy of manifesting health, wealth, and love, I suggest reading Dr. Joe Dispenza's New York Times best-selling book, Becoming Supernatural. This book has over 7,000 5-star Amazon reviews. So it's a lot of great scientific data if you are scientifically inclined to know this stuff. So the beauty of doing your inner work via the internal family systems framework is that after you've unburdened the wounded inner child negative beliefs and you get into the high self-love vibration, that's when you'll take inspired action, not desperate action, to be at the right place at the right time. You don't have to figure out the hows of manifestation. It's the universe's job to do that. Trust that the universe has a grand plan. Patience is key. Manifestation may take a month or a couple of years. It's your job to trust that every date and relationship gives you lessons and prepares you for the eventual dream soulmate. Dr. Dispenza's Becoming Supernatural book dives deeper into the quantum physics of reality creation. The reason I love teaching you how to manifest and live an epic love life with multidimensional intimacy is because that's been my deepest yearning. It took 2 years of post-divorce dating to finally manifest my amazing soulmate, Jim. You will be watching Jim and I in the next series of videos as we share a new framework we developed for sustaining long-term relationships through stronger connection. We will teach you the step-by-step hows. So please subscribe and hit the bell notification so you are informed when we release this exciting and juicy content. If JB's success has inspired you to want to learn more about how parts show up in your love life, I invite you to read my book, Climax: Why Great Leaders Need Love Affairs. Please watch the video linked below on what internal family systems healing and transformation is all about and how it applies to your love life. If you're ready to work one-on-one with me, please click on the link below to schedule a complimentary consultation to see if we're the right fit to work together. All the links to the resources I just mentioned are below in the description box. I wish you an amazing love life, and I'll see you in the next video. Okie dokie.
That's a wrap.
Okay, it's a wrap. I'm done talking.